Hello and welcome to this 1930s motor race powered by Sim Broadcasts, Rony's Tuesday Fun Race 2022 Season 2 Round 7. Owen. Good evening and welcome to Sim Broadcasts. Tonight we are producing the Rony's Tuesday Fun Race season in Live for Speed, round number 7 with the T34 Sport at Westhill East Historic Course RGE. Owen Harmon joins me in the commentary box. How are you doing this afternoon?
Yes, I'm keeping very well, Pete. Thank you for asking, and good job with the introduction there. Looking forward to this.
Should be good. Don't worry, your screen won't be black and white for the entire evening, although it would be nice, wouldn't it? We are going to remove that horrible filter soon. Owen, let's talk about the car first of all. We normally talk about other things, but let's look at this car for tonight. The T34 Sport mod by Tom Fuel. It's been used in a couple of series so far in LFS, namely one of the Gum Garage series, which used one of the other 1930s inspired vehicles. Also in collaboration with Martin 18, a 5.2 litre inline 8 rear-wheel drive engine, not front-wheel drive, but it does produce only 148 brake horsepower.
Yeah, it's a lot of power output, but not a lot of horsepower, I'm afraid. Like, you'll feel, the drivers will feel it through the tighter segments of Westhill this evening. But yeah, that enormous front nose, the drivers will need to know if they're going to be pointing for an attack. They've got to make sure it's clean one. They can't lunge or else there'll be a guaranteed crash.
Yeah, there will indeed. But let's have a look then at the track we're going to be at tonight, because we're not at a very traditional track either. This is going to be a kind of street circuit race around the outfield areas of the Westhill track. The East Historic Course winds its way through the streets of Westhill, 4.9 kilometres, 3 miles, with 14 corners, I think, or am I mistaken? 12 corners. And we're going to have 14 laps of this track when the qualifying session finishes in around about 6.5 minutes' time. Let's take a look then at our calendar. Our calendar for the event, the series, in fact. Here we go. Next time out, the Fox at Fern Bay Gold Reverse Stone, which is a very, very, very popular combination. I'm sure we're going to get quite a showing for that one.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Turnout for this evening is definitely hitting very encouraging numbers. So familiar territory with the Fox around Fern Bay. That'll be definitely a real turn up for the Bucks, and with the potential of a championship battle heading to the wire. Yeah, that should encourage as many people as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight is a good representative showing. 31 cars currently setting times in the session, but we expect to have full capacity next week. In 2 weeks' time with that combination. Before we head to the track, let's get out of the way the formalities of the Drivers' Championship standings, shall we? As at the top, it's currently Sidus Gabor leading last year's champion Rick Cardle by only 3 points. Owen, as we end this season, it's going to be pretty close between these Sidus guys. Only 12 points separating the top three. Then we have Fragmaster's Fatal in P4, who is going to be trying to get in amongst the Sidus guys tonight in P4 there. Then Thamuli for ZFRL, very, very showing this season in P5 currently. Pekka Koivunen for World Class Lines in P6. Lorenzo and Rony and Magic for Race Green, they're down to P9. And Antti Valter sitting there in P10 with a few occurrences, a few times he's been on the track this season, and with very, very good results, which puts him P10 after 6 rounds, I believe. Anyway, here we go. Sidus Monkey, which is Yoni Katila, is P11, and we'll just let these numbers scroll past. We have 3 pages of Drivers' Championship standing charts for you. Owen, we are rounding out the series. It is coming at us pretty quick. Season 2 almost at a close, but it's been a good one, and it's nice to see the mods still being used in RTFR in the second season. It's been quite a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can have additional creativity with this black and white filter. Might not be to everyone's taste, but yeah, it does help us think outside the box and how we can deliver different kinds of broadcasts and have what is, of course, the primary ambition of the series, which is to have fun. So yeah, and the championship battle is what we are keen to see, and the qualifying session is heading towards the last 4 minutes now.
Yes, finally some colours hitting my eyes. And yes, here we go. We have 31 cars. Currently the times are being topped by an unfamiliar name on the top of the standings in this series. Born to Race Antonio, currently topping the times with a 2:18.96, which is quite a margin ahead of anyone else. 0.4 of a second ahead of Rick Cardle.
Yeah, it's an exceptional time to be the only one in the 2-minute 18s, and we have seen in previous rounds where just one or two drivers hit the probably the peak amount of pace possible. But when it's one driver, you really have to stand up and take notice. But the sidest contenders are all in a bunch in the top five, just nozzled there in P4, breaking them apart. But yeah, we hope to see representation up and down the order from the other teams. We've got Race Green Lorenzo there, for example, in P6.
Yeah, this is a topsy-turvy sort of qualifying session, it has to be said. Obviously, you've got the Sidus guys there quite at the top, but we've got names further down who we'd expect to maybe be qualifying further up. So the car is definitely posing an interesting challenge, especially for Twin Cam, as you can see.
Oh, that's a painful spill there, I'm afraid, for Twin Cam. But I do love that some of the drivers are using the numbers on the grille in a very vintage style. We will see certain cars have custom numbers as well as the defaults. I believe number 67 seems to be the default one, but I have seen other cars running their own personal numbers on the front.
Is that possible? I didn't know that was possible. That's quite cool if it is. Anyway, let's see. Here's Temperato, showing us quite how difficult this car is to control. It is fantastic looking and it sounds great as well. So yeah, this is going to be quite the spectacle, I reckon. Mortimer Carey getting plenty of lean. The head animation on this mod is, well, fairly realistic. I seem to recall these sorts of cars flying up and down actually just up the hill at Goodwood, and the drivers do really have to lean out of the car to get it to turn. So fairly realistic, I'd say.
Yeah, you've definitely got to leaning in when you're taking the corners. You've got minimal support, I suppose, from the cockpit. Like the seatbelts were not very in vogue back then in the 1930s, 1940s. So yeah, you feel a lot of the impact on your body. And we can see here Texas in 11th place. He'll be competing trying to find another 10th of a second that'll get him past Leandro 911. Yeah, this is a good section of track, high speeds. Let's see if the braking zone can give Texas that extra oomph he needs to perform even better times. Yeah, run down the hill. And we'll see if this is an improvement.
This is a great effort from Rony, using a track that has basically no track protection, trees, bales, spectators, uncovered objects on the side of the track, no curbs, no camber or nothing. That you can see Texas using all of the road and some more. So the authentic 1930s Grand Prix experience on show.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Texas did manage to improve his time. Contact made Lorenzo over the minimal fencing there, and Temperato unfortunately stuck on the exit of the corner, so he'll need to reset.
I have
unfortunately, call time on his session as we're down to 15 seconds coming up now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be we're going to see a lot of that sort of shenanigans on the first couple of laps. Here's Gabor, who looks like he's on a lap to try and improve. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead. Hopefully it won't play into his hands too much. But yeah, Antonio, 0.4 of a second in the lead at the moment. That is quite a margin as Gabor gets very, very loose under the tunnel. Not sure that's going to have helped him, and he's actually aborted.
Yeah, I feel there was no coming back from that. That would have really hurt the tyres. Very narrow groove tyres. I'm sure anyone more familiar with the pre-war motor racing would know just exactly how unforgiving those tyres can be if you cause any damage to them. They're just very narrow, very rock solid nearly. So lots of challenges the drivers might not be expecting.
Yeah, this will be our final car to cross the line, Team America's joiner. He's on the back part of the circuit now, going over the Westhill bridge, turning left, and then he'll have one chicane to go, all over the pavement. Rony put out a notice before the race went green, before the qualifying session went green, to say that you have to keep at least 2 wheels on the racing surface, so if he improves his time, it might be disallowed, but currently P27, so probably not much of a worry as potentially not going to be that much of an improvement. Let's see though. Only a few corners to go for him, and then we'll have our entire qualifying session completed. Just under the tunnel, a few more corners to go. Even though this is only a 5-kilometer track, it does take the cars a fair while to navigate it. As you can see, we have lap times in the 2-minute 20 realm, 2-minute 18 if you're Antonio, Ricciardo, or Gabor. But here we go, final corner then for Joyner. Some of the camber on these tyres, quite severe. Suspension working quite hard. There's the final corner and up to the start finish. It's a bit of a trek past the pit lane. Will it be an improvement for Joyner? Yes, it will, by 3 seconds up to P16. So a good final lap puts him well inside the top 20 for the start of the race. So, and there we have it, our qualifying results for round number 7 of the 2022 second season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. Antonio will take pole, his first pole of the season, followed by Ricciardo and Gabor. Nozzle, Unite, Lorenzo, TJ, Tazka, Twincam, and Texas round out your top 10. Owen, this is going to be a thriller. This is going to be something we haven't seen. Obviously, a car that is probably feels quite at home on a circuit like this. But we're going to see 31 of them, which is going to be carnage.
Yeah, the just a pure difference in the slowing down of the car.
Oh goodness me! Look at what we have in the background. We shouldn't really show you that, should we? There we go. You were saying?
Yeah, I was saying it's just the factor of the car being very tough to slow down. It's so heavy. The engine right at the front, over 5 litres of output, and then of course the acceleration. It's not going to be friendly if you're in the wrong gear. You'll be feeling the wheel spin and the lag really heavily. But if you get it right, you'll probably have a very enjoyable race. As we return now to our black and white filter briefly. Yeah, it's just going to be a really perplexing race for the drivers if they are not at their very, very best.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, isn't it? A different challenge to what we've seen in previous times. And fair play to the drivers. Some cars that are tricky to drive, we tend to see a drop off in numbers, but 31 is a fairly good number for the qualifying session. We have around about 6 minutes time, and this is going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to have to talk about the upcoming Aston 6 Hours organised by Argentina Turismo, and yeah, that's going to have to be in the black and white filter. I should have thought ahead on this really, but there we are. Coming up on this Sunday. Wow, it's come around quick, hasn't it, Owen? 5 days to go until the lights will go out for the 6 Hours of Aston by Argentina Turismo, sponsored and broadcasted by us here on Sim Broadcasts. So please tune in for that. Sign-ups have now closed. However, we will play the trailer one more time because it's a great trailer, and we hope you enjoy it. So sit back and enjoy. Lines are now closed, so please do not try and sign up for the 6 Hours of Aston. We have quite a lot of sign-ups for that, Owen, so it's going to be quite an ordeal. We're going to have plenty of people here in the commentary box to enjoy. Are you going to be in the box yourself?
Yeah, I should be around for the early stints anyway, early enough in the afternoon, so yeah, I'll be ready for that.
Fantastic. Yeah, there should be a fairly good contingent here from Sim Broadcasts to entertain you for the afternoon if you are not driving, or even if you are driving and you want to watch your teammates on the big screen, then you can. And that will be kicking off live at about midday on Sunday UTC. So please join us for that. Owen, back to tonight's action and our nice grayscale graphics that we have going on here. We are about to start a 1930s Grand Prix with 31 cars in the T34 Sport. What do we make of it so far? We haven't seen much of it on our channel, but there have been series that have used it in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the probably the quantity of cars we'll be seeing on this specially made Westhill East Historic course. That's probably the difference between the scheduled championship and the variety that RT4 provides. So whoever can cope with the vast variety of opponents and knows how to negotiate the circuit will have a great chance of victory.
Yeah, well, you said it perfectly. I think that pretty much puts the nail on the head. And well, I think we predicted it last time out, but it happened. The T1 Carnage, the open wheel nature of these cars, they're quite big. They're like cartwheels almost, aren't they? In some respects. So there's going to be some tangling. There's no track protection, as we mentioned. So there's bales going to be flying. There's going to be cars wrapped around posts. It's and yeah, as Christian Arias mentions, the first few turns are very fast. The cars will be hitting their top speed as they head up to the hard braking zone for the left-hander.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris, and indeed Pete. Just looking at the map again, I have a picture saved, but now it's on the broadcast. Yeah, turns 1 and 2 really quick, and then a huge rundown before the hard braking zone into turn 3. So that will really examine the drivers. They need to know where to position the car, when to hit the brakes, and their turn in and exit are also important, because anything that is missing in that routine, and you'll be sent backwards, sent into side by side, or anything possible, it will just be really stressful.
Yeah, this track looks like one of those quintessential early Grand Prix layouts. I love it. I think Rony's done a great job choosing this particular track for this event. So, yeah, we can enjoy it on a map, but we are going to enjoy it very, very soon, in less than 1 minute, when all the drivers are readied up for the start. They're not really going to be ready, though, are they, Eoin? This is going to be chaos.
Yeah, I don't know how you could possibly be prepared thoroughly for this. It's
tentatively pressing the ready button, I think, is what's going on in the background. Everybody waiting.
I don't see. I think people still want to get a bit more mileage before hitting a restart. So yeah, whoever's wants as much practice as possible.
Absolutely. I have to say, I am admiring the pictures in the background. LFS looks quite good in black and white. I have to say, I'm half tempted to broadcast this in colour, but in black and white. But I don't think it's a good idea. So we will see.
Yeah, it'd be something good for the night that's in it, but then if you want to watch the VOD, you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, it'll probably get old after a couple of laps. Plus, we won't know who anyone is, which is, I guess, one of the problems that they face. A lot of people put in
effort for their liveries, I can see, so they'd want to see the effort broadcast properly.
Well, that settles it then, Owen. You've made a good argument there. We will return to modern colour in just a moment's time. And yes, my 1930s radio voice will not be making an appearance, as I am, as you can probably hear, a little bit ill. And my throat will not forgive me if I attempted to do that for 35 minutes or however long the race is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd have to go to a training course to get my accent set up properly to make mimic what you're capable of, Pete. So, yeah.
Well, you can put on your best Peaky Blinders impression, Owen. Let's get
Not
this
Bromley,
going.
Though. No, well, I have one cousin in Birmingham. That's about it.
Right. How long have we got? Nobody wants to ready up, Owen. We are going to be waiting a while.
It's very unusual.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go racing. We want to go racing. We're waiting patiently or impatiently in the broadcast booth here. Just got to be patient, I suppose.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah. So Rony has reminded everybody that they need to vote to restart, and we have a grid. Here they are. in colour.
There's a Nozzle filling in the gap. A bit of there you go. Unite also jumps in on time. So yeah, full grid. As far as the eye can see, there you can see at the very back, Yaricatella Temperato. But the front is the for the moment is the place to be, and we are go.
Blimey, that's a great noise. As they all thunder their way across start finish, all 27 cars. So a few people hit the chicken button and didn't decide to start, but very, very colourful field here. I'm glad we went back to colour as Antonio leads everyone around this fast first corner, but there's a move going on.
Gabor, just unfortunately that incline to the left interrupted his run on the outside, and there'll be barriers to watch out for now. The pole sitter maintains position, but Rick Cardle now will have the inside line heading into turn 3. Let's carry on another exceptional run down to the first braking zone of the lap. Rick is now fully in front. Antonio wants to counter-attack. You can see now the extra bit of tarmac has to be utilised, or else there would have been all kinds of carnage.
Oh, this is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, it is, definitely.
As we're going to have more of a battle going on, side-by-side action. Oh, there's a roll!
Oh, no!
Rick Cardle up on 2 wheels. Oh, my goodness me, he's up in the trees. He did not expect that, and he's caught, is he? We can't quite see it from this angle, but I think he's caught on something.
Suspension.
Oh,
very sensitive on this car, and there's no give on that suspension anymore. I think that's a DNF.
United's been pushed wide as well, so we have Sidus casualties in the race at the moment. Nozzle has managed to get up to P2 then, and there's a big gaggle in the background. Antonio trying to recover. Here he is. But Unite, slightly further back as well, has come into issues. But Rick Cardle, goodness me, he has had to, he's got terrible suspension damage now on that car and trundling around right at the back.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And Rony's been pitched into a spin. He's been in a collision with Joyner. So Rony's facing in the scenery there. He's able to recover it. No significant damage to his underbody or anything like that.
Unite versus Twin Cam here. Unite on the left and Twin Cam on the right, or will be reversed now as you look at it. And goodness me, lots and lots of wheel-to-wheel action. Probably too much for the first lap, to be honest. Just coming up to the final corner of lap 1. Oh, there's a dive from someone in the background. Oh, goodness me.
Oh my gosh, that's Doctor. At the front here, Pete, a side-by-side contest. Gabor will have his wheels in front, and Nozzle has to react to stay away from the grass. And this is a fantastic run here for Nozzle, qualifying in 5th and now up to 2nd. And the long run down, he does clip that fencing. He's really got to keep the tyres clean now. He has enough tarmac to clean them now. Oh, we have a roll. Oh, that's painful.
His head is in the ground.
Yeah.
Blimey.
It's extremely painful, so we'll hopefully have trackside medics on that scene.
Yeah, more drama further down. Magic's had a spin in the worst possible place. Big queue as well behind Leandro 911. As you can see, he's causing quite a train there.
Yeah, Unite in particular will be fiercely determined to get through. This is not an easy spot to overtake. You can get alongside here. This is another left-hander, turn 4, I believe. Oh, you can see that curbs have unsettled the car for Unite, and he's got to try again in a little bit of a chicane here. And then the most amount of space you're going to be granted on this track before you're cutting straight back in for the right-hander, turn 7.
Oh, this is frantic, and I love it. I love this sort of thing. And it looks like Gabor has managed to open up a bit of a gap. We've got Thumuli in a battle. He's trying to get past Tazka. Tazka, rather, well...
Tazka has his number on the front on the grille there. So that's one that has worked for his style of livery at number 7.
That's clever. I wonder how they've done that. It must be skinnable. Yeah, that's really cool.
Blends
nice
in
effect there.
Odehmuli got a shot on the grass there with an outside drift, but he was able to catch it. Yeah, Leandro 911 is the head of the train here, and he's actually made a bit of a advantage for himself here with Unite and then Twin Cam.
Oh, we've got a spinner.
Oh, he nearly hit the hay there. Oh, and Leandro does spin. Commentator's cars. Joyner is in the scenery. Xavier is also struggling with exiting after hitting the fencing. So all kinds of trouble. Doctor as well. It's just all gone wrong in the final corner, Pete.
Yeah, for some reason, just everything went wrong for quite a few drivers on the end of lap 2. Unusual, but there we go. A lot of cars pitching their vehicles into the track paraphernalia, but no such issues at the front for Gabor or Nozzle. Nozzle dropping back slightly, so yeah, maybe it was just an error from Gabor that hampered his pace slightly. And that's allowing, actually, Antonio, who took pole position, don't forget, he is managing to catch back up, and at quite a rate as well. He's going to be on the back of Nozzle quite soon. I will mention to Chris in the background here that he has strapped quite a few GoPro cameras to these old vehicles for our camera angles this evening.
Yeah, it saves us having to have a physical person on the front of the cars. They had to do it back in the day. Yeah, lovely on-board shot here of Antonio. Is gonna... Oh, he's really demonstrated how to take that right-hander. Beautifully done. Nozzle has to relent here. The very dangerous tunnel is coming up. So if you're side-by-side there, I'd have to send you every grace of God there. You don't want to be crashing in that part of the track, Pete.
Well, now that he's passed, let's see how quickly he can catch up to the back of Gabor, because that was very fast. That was a very fast catch and a very swift overtake. Now he has clean track ahead of him. TJ, likewise, is also catching up to the back of Nozzle, so Nozzle, well, his days on the podium may be numbered.
Yeah, I do think being able to see Antonio and follow what he's doing, it could help him settle down a bit. Yeah, with Gabor having a healthy advantage there, nearly 3 seconds from our last recorded split. Yeah, but that last corner is so tricky because of the curved straight between turns 11 and that final corner. It does put you off side by side, but we have Jari Katila here under pressure here from drivers who have lost positions, Doctor and Rony. So Rony is going to follow Jari, but on the outside there you can see Doctor has gotten all 4 wheels ahead. And
yeah, that was a nice overtake around the outside. Corner. Yeah, Jari going for a potential return move. Doctor runs a bit wide, and that's going to potentially cause a... Oh no, Rony backs out of it. I thought he was going to go for a 3-wide. That would have been crazy. As we follow them down onto the home straight. Begin lap 4 for these guys. Great stuff. Unite up front has a run on Thamuli. He's on the inside, and there's a nice, healthy braking zone for him to cement that advantage if he wants to. Thamuli, look at how out of shape the cars get on the brake zone.
Yeah, they're going from probably 100 miles an hour down to 35, and that is extremely taxing on this kind of car with the old school brakes and everything. That you'd be feeling the bumps on the curbs there if you do take a ride on them. But yeah, I would be... Oh, the Hamuli was more comfortable with the entry of the chicane, but there was no threat to Unite's progress there, thankfully. There's been a spinner a bit further down. It was Tallenberg, I think. He's just rejoining. Rony gets ahead of Doctor in the melee. Jari's on the inside. Was safe enough for Tallenberg to stay in front.
There are some nice liveries on show today. I particularly like the ZFRL. We're losing Lorenzo, apparently. Lorenzo is timing out from the server from a very good position. So that's a shame for him and the race green team. There he goes. Drops from the list. As we watch Gabor rounding the final corner on lap 4, and Antonio hasn't managed to make too much headway on that gap. But someone who is making some progress is Unite. We've got a car crashing in the background quite spectacularly. Bells going everywhere, but let's watch this battle for now. It's Twin Cam crashing in the background, Eoin. Unite going for this move on Tasco. Oh,
It's not enough. Tasca is committed and follows the outside line very neatly, and it put pressure on Unite with the Hamuli able to put his power down a lot more efficiently, and that's down a place for Unite.
Yeah, after getting that place earlier at this, well, in fact, 2 corners ahead of where they are now on the previous lap, he's going to have to do it all again. He's in a good position for it, so we can possibly watch how he gets it done from our multitude of onboard cameras that we have. Let's watch from his shoulder. I hope he doesn't headbutt the camera too much, because the driver's head does move around a lot with this mod. Let's see. He's going to go for the inside for the next corner, and Thamuli is not going to defend it for now. Not a noise, isn't there, coming from these?
And they're braking. Yeah, you've got to use that runoff area. Be as greedy with it as you can, or else you won't be able to go side by side whatsoever. And it has paid off now. Unite does reclaim P7, I believe that is.
I'm struggling to keep a straight face here, Owen. Next lap, when they come into that braking zone, just ignore the car and watch the head. That's all I'm saying. Just ignore the car and watch the head. Rayman and Rony now, and we're going to get an opportunity, I think, to do just that. So watch the heads.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, Rony drops it. So maybe Rony was watching.
Onto the grass.
Yeah, oh, goodness me. He's going right into the scenery now, taking the scenic route back onto the layout. There we go. Always puts a lot of effort into his liveries, doesn't he? Look, he's got the painted flags on the grill as well.
Yeah, that's super.
Looks like we missed an overtake by Leandro on Soini. There we go. Leandro back up to P13 after his spill earlier.
Oh, and down the very back, Rick Ardle has not conceded this race. He's actually made an overtake on Magic. He repaired the rear suspension collapse, and now he's actually moved up a place on track. So that's massive round of applause there for Rick. The spirit of the race on show.
Yeah, the reason why he's done that is pretty obvious when you take a look at the drivers' championship standings. Actually, because Gabor is only 3 points ahead of him, and there's not many races left to go. So Rick Cardle desperately needs a good result. That's why he's still going.
Yeah, and he's gained another place as Doctor has rolled the car completely. I was actually thinking there's a chance to take a fluid break there, but as a matter of fact, Doctor crashed, and that has taken him out of the race. So Rick is now 18th after starting the lap in 20th.
Yeah, and one thing to note up front is, look, there is a red car chasing the purple car of Gabor. It's Antonio. He's taken a second and a half out of Gabor's lead in the last couple of laps, as the dust from the pavement there being kicked up. Drivers using all of the track limits and more. This is definitely going to be picked up after the race. Rony said very clearly before the race that if you are consistently going off the track, then you will be penalised. And, well, I think the top three, all of them there, went off the track fully. Rules are rules, and they might be penalised. As speak of the devil, Rony has binned it again.
I think that is a
write-off.
It into a Morgan three-wheeler.
It has indeed, you are right. Yeah. That is a different style of vintage car that has become. I mean, it looks a little bit like, I don't even know what that looks like. I think, that's game over, is what that is.
It's 100% game over. There's no way he can carry on in that state unless he warns Magic and Rayman of the danger ahead. But there's nowhere for Rony really to pull off unless he reaches the pits before those faster cars, or in the case of the race leaders, if they manage to somehow catch up in time. Rony would have to be on alert to ensure the other cars can get by safely.
Yeah, the irony of me speaking about Rony dishing out penalties for track limits and then us panning to him in the trees is not lost on me. The irony is not lost on me. As we look at Antonio now 1.6 seconds behind Gabor. Catching. Down to 1 second now, so Gabor really is being caught. Rick Cardle has just managed to get past Yarikatilla. He's picking them off very quickly in basically what are the inverse skins. Look.
Oh, yeah. It's a great spot.
Yeah. Purple grill for Yari and yellow grill for Rick.
Yeah, a bit like Gordon Bennett Cup, I suppose. The different colours on show. Some countries would have had similar colours, and yeah, that's how it worked.
Down to 0.8 of a second now, and that big red T34 Sport from Antonio is going to be getting larger as Gabor has the monster of all lockups into the left hander. Michael Malik's having an issue. He's dropping down the order in the background. Let's keep an eye on this rear view camera from Gabor as Antonio goes all four wheels off again on that corner. So even if Antonio gets a good result here, unlikely it's going to stand. Rony has fixed his car, speaking of. So
he actually rolled it. I saw him. He rolled that three-wheeler, and he decided to start again fresh.
Oh, so completely fresh. Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's a completely fresh run here. Yeah, Antonio's making a very brave effort here, giving Gabor a lot to think about. This section of the track from 10 to 12, it will be just a case of following the leader, and then if you can get within half a second, just Gabor, huge tank slapper there, caught nicely on the rear view camera. That is going to give Antonio more impetus to attack. This is the final corner before they begin the 8th lap. So yeah, you can tell from this angle now that the gap is going to shrink. Not enough necessarily for Antonio to be confident of an attack, but he can certainly plan his route. It's down to half a second, so a little bit of a gain. Side by side here, the Hamuli and Texas. They're now entering this same final corner, but at the inside line helped out the Zeta Farrell car, and he's pulled away nicely.
Yeah, good stuff. And this is about to become spicy. The battle for the lead has come back to us. Antonio, after a shocker of a start, tangling with Rick Cardle, who is down in 14th now, having had to get his car repaired, is now looking to retake the lead from Gabor. And it's not going to be easy. Gabor will defend this for sure as he gets the rear of that T34 Sport out yet again on the grass. And I think Antonio has to just use some patience here. Again,
that's as close as you can ask. Yeah, the specially installed curbs. We're able to balance the car just a little bit. Yeah. Now the track narrows substantially again. Yeah, it's a case of blow for blow here. I can't separate the two cars at the moment.
No, it's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake. Usher, the famous commentator. And it's nice to see actually the suspension from here. Look at that. It's quite an interesting layout, that. Leaf spring as the main arm goes up instead of down. As Antonio actually didn't make too many gains on this lap, and it is certainly going to be difficult for him to get past. This car is quite vast, especially when it's going sideways. It does make it quite difficult to effect a pass as Gabor explores the grass once again.
Yeah, Antonio's barely left third gear. He just changed up at the very moment. Oh no, that's Contreras, who's now out of the race, having pitched it into a roll. So that leaves us with 17 cars. Oh, Magic's rolled as well. That's going to be down to 16. Rony, of course, is just going to be credited as I don't know if he'd be classified as a finisher that many laps down, unfortunately, but he's still on track.
They're dropping like flies, Owen. As we see Antonio make an uncharacteristic error there, off in the background, pushed too much through that first left, and again hard into the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of time and potentially quite a fair bit of damage. He's checking behind him, you can see. He's got quite a gap to nozzle, but that is going to hurt him. As Magic does indeed retire from the race.
A telling error, unfortunately for Antonio. He's cost himself 2 seconds. Thankfully, the suspension has withheld the damage. It's mainly cosmetic, probably scratches at this point, but the damage to the confidence will certainly be music to Gabor's ears.
Well, indeed, as we see that, if Nozzle can continue to keep up this pace, he might gain from a mistake or another mistake from Antonio. He's got a comfortable gap in front and behind, but TJ is still there in P4, trying to get onto the podium himself. Then we've got a close gaggle between Thamuli, Texas, and Tazka. And Unite has dropped back significantly from this gap, so fairly unusual gap that for Unite. He's normally a fan, or normally gets up to speed with these mods fairly quickly, but having a bit more of a challenge today.
Yeah, having to negotiate a car like this, it's probably a once in a blue moon opportunity, and I suppose no matter how versatile a driver you are, it's just something that is very, very different to anything really from the last 40-50 years, to be honest.
Yeah, but what a joy to watch. I do like this mod. It was built by Tom Fuel, and he had quite the development thread on the LFS forum regarding this mod as well. He built it entirely from blueprints using the LFS editor, and well, I think it's come out rather well, and it's quite a masterpiece, really.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no shortcutting with how this mod looks. You probably pull off the front casing and look at the engine. It's probably really well detailed. You can get a peek through the grills on the front of the radiator or on the side, the vents, the mirrors, of course. The mirrors are actually fully functional. If you're looking on board from the game, you can see they actually work. The dials on the dashboard, of course, a bit more modernized, but they are fully displayed. You can get a little bit of a peek in there. And of course, the leaf spring suspension is detailed. I suppose the drum brake cylinders will be visualized as well. So yeah, fantastic effort. Yeah,
the sound is good too, and it's certainly giving us a spectacle. They're having to work for it this time. Gabor has not got this easy. Antonio is putting up one of the best fights we've seen of anyone all season long. It was the race he got pole in, of course, but he needs to get it back. Gabor is firmly in that first position at the moment, but showing signs of weakness. Look, he's looking behind. He's not entirely confident that he's got this in the bag yet, and we've still got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, the contest is very much on again. That tunnel, again, it proves to be really tricky because you can't crawl through it. You have to commit to the overspeed, I suppose, or else your exit is badly compromised. You could block someone unintentionally. This uphill climb, I was briefly touching on it previously with an onboard. The drivers are tending to stay in third gear throughout that entire run, hovering 80 miles per hour or so, and they finally get a chance to put the pedal to the metal, and then they'll be braking 100 meters down from 100 miles an hour to about 60, and then they begin their lap again. This will be the 11th tour.
Now this is interesting because Antonio is within draft range now, so if he can hold this, he messed up here a couple of laps ago. He went too wide and almost clipped one of these warning signs warning him that the bend is tight, which is ironic, but let's see, he's done a better job that time, and as long as he gets the next quick left done nicely, again he's so committed through there, bouncing off the wall, and that's hurt him. That's hurt his pace a little bit. I don't think he's going to have a slipstream opportunity. In P6, Texas has looped it. He's rejoining very slowly at the final corner, but Tazka has actually made the jump. So Texas has lost a place. There may have been some contact then involved in that one. Looked like he was on his own, but may have been some contact. I do like delivery on that one though, on Tazka's machine.
Yeah, it's definitely tailored for his own creativity. As we come to that number 7, looks really fetching on the grill. He has the one sponsor and then the British Racing Green and Gold combination, made famous by Team Lotus.
See, Owen, you've been wanting to use this book of facts all year long. Now you've got the chance
my
to.
brain of facts, I suppose.
Your brain of facts.
As of the moment in time. Maybe one day.
Dusting the cobwebs off.
Yes.
Nozzle is at risk, unfortunately, of losing that hard-earned P3 to TJ for Rony Fraser, who is closing up in the background. And, well, the gap has come down steadily over that time, now to below 1 second. So we'll have to see if TJ can do a better job at getting past his competitor than Antonio is currently able to do. 1.1 seconds behind Gabor at the front. I quite admire the steering wheel in this thing as well. Nice and simple. Nice big radius. Nice chrome spokes on it. But looking further back, Ricciardo is making effective passes. He's managed to get past Teemu Soini and now splits Soini and Martin McCarry. There you go, updating on our timing tower. And yeah, wow. It's quite a quick gain as well onto the back of Martin McCarry. This will be P10 if Ricciardo can get this move made. That's a good effort, considering he was all the way at the back in P27 only a few laps ago.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we didn't see it at the time. There was so much action elsewhere on the track, but he was one of the drivers that decided I'm going to pit for repairs. And the effort so far has been worth it. You'll know that the chance of a victory, yeah, he was definitely capable of it. His best lap time. He's been consistent as well. You would have known he could have challenged his teammate and Antonio up at the front. It was just a really unfortunate collision that removed him from being a contender today. But he's going to get his front wheels alongside Martin McCarry. He's not perfectly alongside yet, but he's gaining a little bit more yardage, and he'll be brave on the brakes here before the last. Good turn in, respectful defence, but it is enough. So well done to the drivers there, but it's not over with Martin McCarry using the downhill. Has not decided to slip in behind. He remains on the outside line, but Rick will shield him just a little bit. Excellent view there from another rear view on board. And there you go, that's the overtake for now done.
That was a menacing view when you were looking back at the other cars side by side. Fantastic looking mod, you have to say. Good effort to Tom Fuel for this one. And yeah, that is Rick Cardle up to now P10 from the back. So crucial points for him in his hunt for the championship ahead of his teammate. But yeah, Gabor, if he carries on like this, he's going to have a bit of an advantage going into round 8 with 3 rounds to go. And here he is. He's doing a good job at the moment. 2.6 seconds. It must be another error from Antonio as he goes wide again. 2.6 seconds. That gap going up again. So Antonio just doesn't have what it takes to get past. He certainly has the speed, but he hasn't got all the keys to overtake.
Yeah. Leandro. Spectator, was he on the track at the time? Did he crash?
I think so, yeah, because we're now down to 15 cars. Twincam in the chat mentioning that as soon as you put one of the wheels on the grass, one of the rear wheels that is, onto the grass, it immediately spins up, so you end up being a lot looser than you might expect. So that's why we've seen a fair few incidents resulting from cars dropping wheels on the grass. Normally you can catch them, but this car, the rear differential, just making the rear wheels spin out of control quite easily if you drop a wheel on the grass. So certainly a challenge, but one that Gabor at the moment has risen to, and he's doing a great job. Look at his head wobbling around in the cockpit. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think the competition has all spread out from each other. I suppose here Nozzle has just made crucial misplay into that corner. Turn 3, I believe it is now, into turns 4. Then the chicane is coming up the right left. So yeah, that gives TJ a real throw at this 3rd place. Just needs to get alongside here. No, just the exit was not kind. to TJ. Nossel can reclaim that advantage. Very slender advantage, but it is sufficient through this portion of the track, Pete.
Yeah, good effort, but the rear differential again having a bit of trouble keeping the car on the power as TJ exited the chicane, but he'll have another few attempts. He's got plenty of time, a lap and a bit to go, and it's about 20 odd corners of time worth to go. He'll have a good opportunity up the hill again if he can stay tucked underneath Nozzle's rear end. Nozzle, who has elected to use the version of this car with the headlights. Did not notice that there was a different configuration. Some of them don't even have the headlights on. Look, you can see TJ has elected to remove them.
Yeah, I suppose the concept of putting on a few extra grams onto your car doesn't matter so much. But yeah, some people were not aware you could configure the car with the lights on, and like that's another detail from Tom Fuel that is appreciated.
It's small things like that separate the average mods from the brilliant mods in RFS, and this certainly, for me, after today, it firmly goes into the excellent category. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm sure some of the drivers will disagree, given how difficult it is to drive, but it's their own problem. It's brilliant. Look at it.
Yeah, they were excited to probably see what the challenge was, but when you actually get put in behind the wheel, it does sink into reality for you. It can be something entirely different. But Antonio is on his final lap, of course, with Gabor in front. He knows he's just got to throw the dice at everything, as Jari has reset his car completely, so he's probably undone his classification here. Will the timings notice that? That could be bad news for Jari. He won't be able to be fully registered, perhaps.
Interesting, yeah. He completed more than 75%, so we'll have to see how he's classified. But yeah, he rejoins down in P15, so he should finish there. No issue. Here goes TJ then. We are on the final lap. Gabor and Antonio are on the final lap. These two aren't. So TJ's going for a move. Not going to find a way through there. The outside just doesn't work there. But let's see if he can find a way past. It's not easy to get past. It is quite a big machine. It looks like it's got quite a small footprint from behind, but those wheels do extend out quite a way. Saw one or two drivers interlocking wheels and without issue, so it's potentially the case that the wheels are not actually in the hitbox, but that's interesting. Gabor is at the final corner, and this will be the end. Eoin, he's done a fantastic job to get into the lead and hold it, as it does a bit of a flourish to the finish. It's not over yet, Gabor, be careful, mate. As there we go, across the line. Antonio reverses, in fact, across the line.
He has a habit of doing that, doesn't he?
I think so. But yes, well done to Gabor. Oh, as Jari's rolled it again in the background. Not ideal for him.
Nossel gets the job done. That was a lot of pressure to hang on to that third place. Once he got it, he never let it go. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely. But congrats to Sidus Gabor, who will extend his championship lead. We just need to wait and see where.
Oh my goodness! We have to interrupt. As Rick Cardle overtakes Unite on the last lap. Remember how far back Rick was. He's overtaken his teammate on merits. Unfortunately, I think Rayman is just a little bit too far ahead with the final corner coming up. Yeah, I just saw it on my own screen. Unite got it all wrong into turn 7 or turn 9. It was one of them, I believe. But yeah, fantastic job for Ricardo to make this fight back for so many positions. But he's beaten his team. That'll be a bit of bragging rights in the purple garage, that's for sure.
Absolutely. As we come up to the line, it was Thamuli in P5, Tazka P6, then we've got Rayman coming across the line. Rick Cardle then takes P7, Unite in P8. McElroy will take P9. That's a good effort. So 2 ZFRL cars in the top 10. Rony will finish on the 10th spot. Michael Malek's had an interesting final lap, as you've been seeing on the screen. Clouted a few walls and is just making his way up to start-finish now. Here he is. Didn't see much of Michael today, but nevertheless, he managed to get it across the line. There is Rayman classified a lap down, and Rony, who will just classify 6 laps down, finishes in P13. And that's your lot, Owen. 13 finishes.
Yeah, it's a very impressive run here for Gabor. Just under 33 minutes en route to victory. Antonio was the fastest lap holder, though. He got it by half a second, 2 minute 19.11. Nussel, as I commented, held on to third place. It was a long slog to keep it, but he never let it go. TJ, best of the rest there, just outside the podium places. But still 15 seconds behind. That's actually a really good point, actually. That's really good to stay within 15 seconds of the race winner, who now gets his shot on the winner's podium. Then the Hamuli, very quiet race. He was able to avoid too many trip-ups, and he was all on his own in 5th. That's really good. And then the top 6 down to 10, we have Tasca, Rick Cardle, Unite, Mosh McCarry, and Timu Soini. Then the remaining finishers that are classified, Michael Malik, Texas, and Rayman there, they're all within a minute or 1 lap down. Leandro probably got classified, and Rony as well, I believe, all classified.
Yeah, absolutely. Joyner, Contrera, Magic, Doctor, Twincam didn't finish and won't be. Well, they probably won't be even classified because they finished too many laps down. But we'll have to wait and see. There are a few more results to show. Here we go. Shvaya PL, Tallenberg, Lorenzo, Mies, Lallaroo, Yarrick Tiller, Temperato, and Zesty did not finish. But I have a feeling that Yarrick Tiller will be classified as he did complete enough laps. We'll have to wait and see. And yes, that brings to a close the action. You can see there Gabor atop the podium, where very well deserved indeed. A good effort from him to deny Antonio his shot at the top step.
Yeah, again, he was a bit lower down compared to Antonio, who had the pole position. The chaos that unfolded, it meant that he was in the right place at the right time and pushed on and held on through this exceptionally well-designed Westhill East historic course, and as a rightful winner, I have to say.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that again. I think Rony picked the perfect track to showcase the T34 Sport. And if you enjoyed it, yes, it's available in LFS for S3 license holders. The T34 Sport mod, you can download it in-game and you can try it out on the streets of Westhill for yourself. If you enjoyed that, there are 3 rounds left of RTFR in 2022 that we're going to be covering. The second season of this year's RTFR action will be coming to a close sometime in December. There we are, the calendar. And next time out, it's going to be a showstopper. It's going to be the Formula XR at Firm Bay Gold Reversed, which I have a feeling is going to be a sellout. We're going to have 40 cars easily for that one. I think it's safe to say. A very, very popular combination, a very popular car. So if you fancy it, then get on the server early, get your qualifying done, and see if you can make the top 40 spots for round number 8, the 294th RTFR. I'm very much looking forward to that in 2 weeks' time, I think.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Should be very exciting rundown and countdown to November 22nd, and therefore the finale, the final sprint to the championship finish. Absolutely,
and also the final countdown to this, the Argentina. Oh, hello, that's the wrong one. Let's have a look. The Argentina Turismo 6 Hours of Aston. This Sunday at midday UTC, all 6 hours will be broadcasted here on Sim Broadcast. So if you are not racing, or you are racing and you are out of the car, then you can have a watch of that and support your teammates in the chat and all the good stuff. So please share the broadcast. It's on our YouTube channel, waiting. We hope to see you on Sunday for the second. Well, I guess, in fact, yes, this will be the second endurance race we broadcasted this year on the channel. And we're very much looking forward to it in the Prototype 2 mod. Lots and lots of teams signed up, so it's going to be a fantastic afternoon of racing. You'll be there alongside me and a couple of other members of the Sim Broadcasts team joining us for it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it promises to be a fantastic occasion, and we'll see with the single class racing who truly is the best of the entries that we have lined up for this Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, that just about wraps us up here for the 7th round of RTFR Season 2. Westhill East Historic Course. This one I won't forget in a hurry, Owen. This was fantastic. The T34 Sport is one of my favourite mods, I think I have to say. It looks great, sounds great, drives great, provided plenty of action, and well, it's our first grayscale broadcast.
Yeah, and hopefully won't be the last, but yeah, we have a few people got in touch to say, I thought my display was broken.
Well, in a couple of days' time, we will be broadcasting the Street Obsessions Racing League, the finale of that season. So we will be heading back to the future into colour for that. The Formula 60 will be on show at Aston North on Thursday. So please join us for that if you're interested in watching some different series. I mean, the SORL is a series we've not covered before. We have obviously covered the Formula 60 before, and the Kesav race we broadcasted earlier in the year. But please join us on Thursday evening, in fact, for that. Thank you, Owen, for joining me in the commentary box. Chris in the background, as ever, for pointing our cameras in the right direction. And all of you guys for watching. And, of course, our drivers. We wouldn't be here without you guys. World Class Lines, of course, for sponsoring the series. And Rony and Race Queen Events for putting it all on for us. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. And we'll see you on the next broadcast.
Bye-bye.